NFTs are the future. That's why we're all here. This panel, all about NFTs. All good. NFTs could be the future for everything, literally everything. So the question that I always ask is, what do you mean by that? So let's talk about the tech of NFTs and what their true purpose is going to be. So we got passports, licenses, medical records, real estate, gaming, and more. There's so many applications for what we can do with NFT technology that we haven't even thought of yet. And that's what inspires me the most and what motivates me to come out here and to do this all the time. NFTs, our technology is so far from where it could be. We are so early, it's repeated a lot. There's so much that we can and will do in this space. It's amazing to me that people are being introduced to NFTs through art. It's a great creative way, and it gets the masses involved, and that's awesome. Let's do it. Let's get more people involved. Let's get more people to start to embrace technology and understand it. You have people out here outside of the Marriott who were protesting NFTs. If you guys saw those signs, they've actually already created a Twitter page, created a free-to-mint NFT project that was cartoonized them, and they're free to mint on the blockchain. Very NFT degen fashion style, love it. But the true application of what we're going to do with NFTs are so much more than that. And these technologies are what we're here for. The art that we're going to get into to do the art, that's awesome. It's an introductory way to do. My hope is that through NFTs, people will lead to digital ownership of your libraries. Currently, you have a digital library, and you're subject to terms of use, which you can break in so many different manners or ways, and you lose your entire access to it. What you do by having NFTs is you gain control over this. But the applications for it and what we can really do, we're just starting to develop. To make it mainstream, to bring it to what we want to do, the first step is proof of ease of use. It sounds like another protocol. It's not. It's very simple. We're going to think like Apple. The simplistic, simple design that is so clean and smooth and sleek. And that's why people gravitate towards it, because it's easy to understand, easy to use. You want to talk about this blockchain, connect to that blockchain, you bridge your money. We've all lost tons of money, transactions trying to figure out how to do this. If you've ever, traded on Ethereum, there's a great website out there. I forgot the name of it, but you can track how much gas you paid for. I looked at it once and I cried. It's honestly kind of terrifying. It's, we talk about gas prices in the US today. The gas prices that we spent on the last other mint, it's a lot. It's definitely a lot to get into. Now, the great part about NFTs technology is that there's so many, the different iterations of contracts, there's so many new things that are coming up with. Vitalik, one of the founder of Ethereum, co-founder, he recently spoke about the concept of soulbound NFTs. So soulbound NFTs cannot be sold. So you're talking about driver's licenses, diplomas, certifications, real proof of attendance that you're here at this very event, that you can, you have your Facebook timeline, but you can actually show legitimacy that you actually were here. With the AI and bots, everything can and will be faked. So when you're talking about something that you actually have on an immutable blockchain, records that cannot be changed, that you were at an event, that you attended that school, that your past is your past, that is something that is amazing. And that is the concept of a soulbound NFT. That is just one application that can dramatically change the world as we know it, which is amazing. We're talking retail, right? Brands using NFTs to incentivize IRL transaction. There's so many ways to apply that with rewards. You're talking legal, real estate, proof of ownership, royalties, content submission to use short-form content for NFTs. There's so many amazing, amazing applications. And we could talk about that forever. And I'm sure you guys have all heard it a lot. There's a lot of speakers here talking on this topic. I titled this here, NFT 2.0. So let's talk about that. NFT 1.0, as I call it, was built on FOMO, the fear of missing out. It was built on scarcity. It was built on price appreciation. NFT 2.0 is said to be about utility, value, innovation, storytelling. As long as NFT providers, partners, companies keep the customer experience at the center of their strategies, there seems to be a bright future ahead for the overall market. Now, these media companies out there that exist today, they feel so threatened by what we can do by having a true decentralized technology like this that gives power back to the users. It is terrifying and they're scared. I would not be surprised not to go on a conspiracy rant if there were to be people paying for the protesters out there for a political reason, because they want to keep their interests at heart. They want to keep their agendas. That makes perfect logical sense to me. There is so much that threatens the very society that these companies thrived on, and now we're scaring them, and it's a good thing. Every attack that we get, every attack that the traditional banks do on our systems, which, to get into, we're not going to get into details, we're referencing Luna, obviously. All these kind of situations we see, they're great for us. It shows the legitimacy of what we're doing. And that is why we're all here today, to understand, connect with more people, and learn more about the future of NFTs and how we are going to implement that, what we are going to do to take a stand. So how are we going to make this mainstream? How are we going to get this real adoption that we want? So I spoke before about ease of use. We're going to talk about Google Maps for a second. We spoke about Apple. Let's go to Google. Google Maps. How many of you here have used Google Maps? By show of hands. We've all used it. Great. Any of you know how the algorithm works? Great. Awesome. Neither do I. Now, we all know how to get from point A to point B, though, right? We don't need to know how the algorithm works. In NFTs, with blockchain, when you first got involved, how many systems have you been able to get from point A to point B? How many of it was easy to use? There are so many complications of it. And we constantly preach about education, more education, more education. People need to know. You talk about the QR codes that went up during NFT NYC that were malicious. If you guys heard about that, it's really, it happens. But you should know security, and you should know to use a separate browser wallet, and you should know not to keep money in significant money in a MetaMask. Get yourself a ledger. Get yourself a cold storage wallet. We could talk about that, but that's not what mainstream adoption will do. No industry is going to thrive on having to learn so much about something to use it. We are currently in what I would call MDOS stage, before Windows 95, before people can understand how to use a system properly. You want to get mainstream adoption? Education needs to be obsolete. We need to no longer have education. It needs to be so simple, from going from point A to point B. Like, you type in an address in Google Maps, they already know my location, and they get me from the Marriott to here. It's that simple. That's all we need to do. It's that simple. It's a very, very funny way of saying it, because it's so complicated. We know that. What we need to do is we need to focus in on how can we streamline things and make this easier, not more complicated, not more bridging, not more me understanding to transfer from one mainnet to another. I got an airdrop, but I can't access it. But this airdrop is malicious. Don't open that link. There are so many times we hear all this. And education is great. And if you're a developer, get educated. If you're here pre-MDOS, you want to learn how to develop, you want to learn how to code, you want to build Windows 95, especially in a down market like we are in now, then great, learn it. But if we want to bring this to the mainstream of adoption, it's why we're here today, for NFT 2.0, for the technology that will thrive way past the 99% of projects they'll fail. Because they're not built to last. They're grabbing onto a new term that people jump into, and that's awesome. And people make lots of money in it, that's awesome. There's lots of people who lost money, that's awesome too, because you're learning. If you learn a lesson from it, you didn't learn. You didn't lose. You've got to be able to just zero in on this and focus on how can we make this easier? How can we make this solution simpler? I've seen a company today at NFT NYC that they had a great solution for, you could just sign up with an email address, and you have a wallet that can then be made custodial with a simple button. They export you your private keys. But all you do is put in an email address. Nothing else, and that's awesome. My name is Moishe Kaufman. I'm the CEO of NFT Once. So I've got 15 seconds left. That's going to be my entire plug here. We're a global solution provider for NFTs. For Web3 companies, we do it all: marketing, branding, dApps, smart contracts. My simple goal is to help the future of NFTs. Let's streamline this. Let's make it awesome. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much.